Happy
Hey,
Thursday. John Sbrocco here, Heads Up Advisor. And another one every week. Keep on showing up. Keep on marketing. It don't matter what time of the year is. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
hell yeah.
Winter is coming. I think, what are we, 1 week away from July? Is that about?
Dang
July
near.
4th,
Yeah.
like a week or so.
Yep.
And
Half the
Craig,
year's gone, bro.
you're a guy that, half the year is gone. Look at your numbers. Can you recover from now to the end? I mean, if you're in a sales role, commission role, and you're taking a salary, you better get the numbers up. You got to hit numbers, or it doesn't make financial sense to invest the next year. Okay. So, Craig, groups right now, you're dealing with larger groups. They're starting their cycle. They're starting to look. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, hey, guys, everybody either is looking seriously because they're a 1-1, or if they're a smaller case, then this is the time of year they want to explore. Like, I don't want you to come to me at the last minute and tell me, explain to me all the least bad options I had. So this is the time people are doing planning. They want to explore, they want to learn, they want to discover. So this is your time to prospect, right? This is when people expect to get up to speed on what's coming down the road. And with 8.6% published inflation, healthcare is going to be more than that. So you can paint a really nice picture, have a nice conversation, get people ready to make a change.
Show sponsor, Virtue Health. Check us out, virtuealliance.com. If you're tired of getting self-funded renewals that are, when your groups run well, that are north of 12, 14, 15%, it's time to look elsewhere on renewal. We've got the product and program to keep the renewal costs down. We're going to be competitive on the front end and allow your employers to be self-funded long-term, not short-term. Long-term. You sell a long-term strategy, you better have a long-term solution to back it
How
up.
many brokers you have on the last one? John does these webinars every month.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting 100. We're getting 100 plus on each webinar. The first one there was 350.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing it every week. If you want to see a recording, just go over to the website, Virtual Alliance, book a demo with us, and we'll take a deeper dive into the program. Where were we? Yeah, larger groups going to start looking. So if you look at it from a self-funded standpoint, which is obviously what we do, and kind of the shtick, and I don't care if you eventually give them fully insured, this, that, or the other. It is what it is. And self-funding is not a fit for everybody, but you better be in there talking about it. But we always talk about setting a hook, right, Craig? And good opportunity to get out in front of these guys. Now, sell them the strategy, take them down that path, because when the renewal comes, and we don't know what the fourth quarter renewals are going to look like now. I don't know. They could be huge. They may not be. Does the insurance company say, hey, let's kick the can down the road and keep taking what we can since we can't take too much because of inflation? Or do they just say, we're greedy bastards, let's take it and use the excuse of inflation? So
probably depends on your region. Which carrier you're talking about.
We don't know. So, but we do know that employers are looking for newer solutions, ideas, and having the right products. Taking them down the sales path does take time. It is not a renewal conversation. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, it reminds me, tonight is the NBA draft. It's the draft. And I think, it reminds me of, kind of the brokers industry, because a lot of these kids, and I say these young men, they might have been at it since they were 5 years old. It was just a dream. And then they discovered in high school, hey, they're pretty good. And they go to college, and nowadays, if you can be one and done, because that's what they allow. And so you get these guys, and, unless you're a lottery pick, which is guaranteed money, maybe you'd be a late second, third round. I don't even know how many rounds they go anymore, but it ain't what it used to be, because there's only about 330 jobs available for the NBA. So go figure it out. The probabilities of you making a team can be really small. So you got other guys who were late bloomers, right? They started playing in high school, but they grew and this and that, and they got really big. And so the parallel to me is, the brokerage industry is full of a lot of people who think they're lottery picks, in my opinion, or in my experience. And so that's just not reality. And so some of them have been at the business, since they were 5, and now they're, 21 years old, and they're going to the draft. And so they have all this experience. And sometimes that's a benefit and sometimes it's not, because what happens in this industry, sometimes it makes people skeptical and they already think they know everything. And now, in contrast, we deal with a lot of different brokers, and a lot of the younger people, untainted by the fact that they're inexperienced, will try things because they don't know any better, right? And so the consequence of that is they try new things, and it works, and they're happy. And it turns out that oftentimes the people with the least amount of experience are in fact the lottery pick. In the grand scheme of a lottery pick for us would be who actually writes business, who gets new business, who closes business, versus those who present a little bit, or they present a lot, but they don't close anything because they can't successfully transition a prospect into a buyer. So that was my story about the NBA lottery pick and, the brokerage industry. Not everybody's a lottery pick. Not everybody's going to make it in the NBA. And in our world, not everybody can close a prospect on making a change or converting from fully insured to self-insured. So if you don't have the skill set, if you don't have the storytelling, if you don't have the emotional intelligence, if you don't have the experience at having distinctive and differentiating conversations, then you probably should reference somebody who can do that. And so that's why John and I do these talks for what, John, 3.5 years? Whoo!
Next
right?
month
We
will be
shorten the learning curve.
4 years. Heads Up Advisor will be 4 years old next month in August.
Wow.
First week of August. Yeah.
Time flies, man.
Time flies. Keep showing up. Hey, but the point of the story is keep marketing. So right now we're doing some things, right? Building out a list. You can go into Sales Navigator, right, on LinkedIn. Great tool. Take your target market. We want employers from 50 to 500 employees. We want them in this state. And I want, for employers, it's easy because you could select, I want these titles only. I want the owner, the president, the this, the that, the CFO. Maybe you're talking to CHROs, whoever it is, you can zone in specifically because of job titles. What I'm doing right now for brokers, it's kind of harder because the job title is not there. So it's a lot harder to target them. You've got to pull out job titles versus putting
brokers
them in.
Almost, they call themselves anything but a broker. So it's,
they're not calling. They're not saying I'm an insurance broker, which I agree not to put that on your profile. But you could create these lists right now on LinkedIn, okay? And basically, what you can do is get somebody, a VA, or somebody to scrape the data or export it, send it over to a company like ZoomInfo, and buy the information. Okay, get a cold list of, spend at least get 2,000 prospects. Right, put them into some sort of prospecting outreach system. Maybe you hire a young guy. I just hired a young guy to help us do it. Okay, upload it into a system. Start sending them either sequences, Google sequences. Go to Outplay. They have a free sequence thing, and start sending these guys sequences and calling them, and then just hitting them. I mean, we're going to be running ads too through LinkedIn to that specific target as well. So you're hitting them, the combo prospecting from every angle, right? But
let's
right
get a
now,
little granular on that, John. So 2,000 leads. Oh my God, that sounds like a lot of money. So we got to unpack it. So let's just take a 100-man group, John. What's that worth in annual compensation typically?
Let's just say 50 grand.
Okay, so you get one prospect of a 100-man group, 50 grand a year. You keep a client on average 5 years, 50 times 5, $250,000. So should you be willing to invest a little bit of money?
$2,500.
Invest, I said, not spend. Invest in prospecting, knowing that each 100-man group is worth $250,000. How much would you be willing to spend on marketing to get a $250,000 revenue stream? And so you back into, what's 2,000 leads cost, John, approximately?
I don't know. Let's just say $1 a lead, or $2 grand.
I mean, it's so inconsequential as to be a joke.
It's a joke.
I don't care if you have to use your credit card. Put it on your credit card and be done with it. But you've got to have it. It's the lifeblood of our biz.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, I've got to go wider. I got to cast a wider net. I may buy 50,000 leads, and it's going to be 20 grand or something like that, maybe 25 grand. But I'm willing to do it because it's one sale. Sometimes that's one sale. So, you know, maybe I'm going to spend 25,000 on a lead list. Then, we signed up for outreach.io. I'll give away some of my secrets. Outreach.io, great outsourcing or great prospecting tool for your cold leads or working inbound leads.
Hmm.
And that's, I don't know, $2,000 a year per user, right? So call that $2,000. Now I'm buying a dialer that's another $2,000, 2,500 or $2,000 a year, right? For a
Yeah.
dialer. And then you're paying somebody $20, $25 an hour to work that. Okay. Um, that's something that is feasible. I mean, that's what yes, it's an investment, but I mean, like Craig did the math. What's one case worth? I'm not even talking about lifetime value. I'm talking about year one.
Just year one. Yeah.
And then, you've got to have this outreach prospecting system. It should never be turned off. People turn it off all the time. I talk to guys, cold called 4 months, didn't work. I mean, yes, you can go 4 months and it doesn't work. Maybe your list is bad. Maybe the numbers are bad. You can do data enrichment.
Yeah.
So let's say you have an old list. You can have them go on and update the list to see the contacts are. Get all these people in Sales Navigator, so you can have all those leads in a list, and it'll show you trigger events when they switch roles. Okay, that's a perfect time to reach out to them. So you'll get trigger events, and then you should be connecting with each one of these. Because if you're putting content out, I see a lot of brokers putting stuff out. If you got no connections, they're never going to see it ever. Okay,
Yeah.
they're not watching healthcare videos on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, they're just not. Nobody cares. So do have a connection with them, so you're at least combo prospecting them. And you know, that being said, you gotta put in the hours, have somebody put in the hours and spend the
Yeah.
money to make the calls.
Yeah. It really boils down to math, guys. It's like, are you going to be in business for the next 5 years? If there's any question, then you have a different set of criteria on how you make the decision. But most people are going to say, yeah, I'm going to be in that's 60 months. So, like you said, John, they did it for 4 months and they quit. It's like, guys, that's such a tiny sample size on the next 60 months of your career. What the heck are you thinking about? What else are you going to do if you're not trying to do marketing? What, you're going to play golf and network? You're going to go to the bar and network? You're going to you're going to go to Chamber of Commerce meetings? And I mean,
It's not
come on.
scalable. Like none of that stuff you got to look at as is it scalable?
Right.
Is
That's
knocking on
one at a
doors.
time.
It's like knocking on doors. When I first started in benefits and I interviewed and I didn't take the role, I was young and too scared to do what the guy wanted. He's like, look, you're going to come in and you're going to sit there in front of me and you're going to make calls all day. Then you're going to knock on doors for 4 hours a day. And I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. How many doors am I going to be able to knock in 4 hours every day? And that's what he did. He wrote his book, but he wrote all small business because, the two life groups, the owner answers the door. So
Yeah, mom and
anyhow, the
pop.
point of the
Yeah.
story is he was marketing wrong. And I was marketing wrong to an extent. When we started, we were doing cold calling, but we weren't doing any emailing at all. It was just straight cold calling. So, and we
Hey,
used
when I
lists. We
started the
didn't
business, John, I wasn't doing emailing either. Of course, there was no email when I started in the business. So just saying.
exactly. Somebody told us a while ago, yeah, you should have emails, and we're like, nah. He didn't want to do it. He was a telemarketer from Wall Street, so he just wanted to pick up the phone and dial. And we were using dial. I tried to get him to use it. Now I see how big of a mistake it was because he's only dialing 60, 80 a day. And but I was happy with 8 to 10 appointments a month because I knew the math and that I'd win business. So
Yeah.
that being said, just giving you some ideas here, refresh your memory. If you're a new producer, you're young, right? We like the younger, the hungry guys. You can outsmart the older guys through marketing. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's going to take time. It's going to take money. It's not 1, 2, 3. I still spend tons of times on marketing strategy, marketing this and that. That's how I grew this whole side of the business, Virtue. All marketing, right? This show.
Yeah.
Think me and Craig love to show up every single Thursday for the show? No. But we know this is our job to do marketing, and we can get, in front of thousands of people every week from podcast downloads and video views and so on and so forth. Hey, if you're listening, I see a bunch of people online. Go ahead and put your name in. Let us know where you're listening from. Let us know what marketing strategies you're using. And look, you want to go on vacation? Go on vacation. That's fine. But I would set things up before I left because we talk about winners
That's a good
coming.
one.
We talk
Yeah.
about winner. Winner is the playoffs, right? We did this. We did the story of Michael Jordan covering whatever that one was. I forget the name of it. Um, but he was getting ready for the playoffs in the preseason before the season even started. And the year that he retired and came back, he wasn't ready. He wasn't game ready. So he tried to compete mid-year and then drained himself out and was too exhausted and lost in the playoffs, which he never did after they won so many times in a row. He just didn't have it. He wasn't 100%, so he wasn't preparing. And it takes that long to get shit going. Even for me, who knows how to do it and has done it over and over, it really takes that long to do, especially if you don't have a system. So somebody says actually 101 on Heads Up Advisor. That's probably since we took it public.
Yeah.
Way more than we did.
That's
Way
not
more
even
than
close. We've done way more than that.
yeah, we've done way more than 100 shows
Yeah.
because we started doing it outside the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Has to
Facebook
be
used
more.
to inventory and archive all our videos, and then one day it was like, "Well, where are the videos?"
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gone.
Then they shut off the messenger bot, so we can't send out message to let you guys know, text, so on and so forth.
Not real
Well,
friendly.
no. But yeah, getting ready now is the key. Cut a check, especially, what is marketing budget? 8 to 12% of revenue. Okay.
And
Greg,
when you use
what's
these
8 to 12% of your revenue? No, that's a big marketing budget. And then I see
that would be a
Craig
substantial
sometimes
marketing budget.
when he's told me how much he's spending on something, and we're talking a lot of money. You guys would throw up. And then I go, well, your revenue is X. That's less than 10% of your revenue. Okay, that makes sense. Right? If
Yeah.
you want to grow, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Hey, what you said was great. It's like, if you're going to go on vacation, yeah, go, because you should be present. Don't answer your damn phone. Don't read business journals. Unplug, be present. Okay, but before you go, if you start the email campaign, it's digital. It works 24/7 when you're not there. When you're asleep, it's always working. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to set that up in advance and just stick it on automate. Now all you got to do is check the results.
Well, hire somebody, get them going. Like my father keeps asking me to come to Florida, this and that. I'm like, no, I just hired some people. I want to get the system functioning, and then I can jet. So if you're a little further in your career, you should be hiring somebody to do this stuff because you're not going to do it, even if you tell yourself you're going to do it. Get it set up, get it in motion, the train in motion here, and then go check out, and then give it some time for them to cold call and develop. You got to warm up the list. You got a cold list. You got to warm it up. So work that list, take your vacations, and then come back and have people that you're going to start engaging and talking to, because it takes time, guys.
Sometimes we forget, all these prospects have lives and they have a ton of competing demands. One of the obvious competing demands is other vendors, completely unrelated to health insurance, but other vendors that are soliciting them because they work at a company. And so between their job duties and there's just so many other things they have going on. So that's why marketing is really, it's almost like a form of Chinese water torture. You just got to drip, 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 drip. And eventually the timing will be right for the prospect, and you'll be the only one they think of because you're the only one who didn't quit.
So
that's the essence of it all.
I'll tell you, I just wrote a $25,000 check yesterday for something, right? So basically, I did a Google search for something for asset protection. Okay. And I got hit with Facebook ads. Okay. LinkedIn ads from the same people. And at first I was like, yeah, Facebook ad, whatever. And then I just kept getting hit with it. And you know what? I was already talking to an asset protection company, and they muffed the first phone call with like a bad connection. And so I said, screw it. I want to get this done. Let me just fill this out. And this guy called me, who was an attorney, which is surprising. Very intelligent guy, an attorney, sharp. He called me almost every day, left me voicemails, emails. Oh man, did he follow up? And I knew I reached out. I completed the form. I wanted to do it, and I still dodged him. I still was dodging him because, you know what, when he called me, it wasn't the right time. And then I got busy and I didn't feel like calling him back. And I always say to myself, if they're good and they're worth it, they're going to keep following up with me and they'll catch me. And so I don't know, 2 weeks went by, probably 5 voicemails, 5+ emails. And then I called them back after hours. I said, hey, sorry, I missed you. Been busy. Call me tomorrow at this time. Let's discuss. And so again, the purpose of that is there's a lot going on. Now that's an inbound lead. We don't get inbound leads from the employer side. I do on the broker side. That's a warm lead, a lot easier. You're not getting that. Yours is cold, so it makes it that much. It was that much work for him, and I was a buyer. I submitted an interest form, and I still was that much work. So when you quit so early on prospects, realize I think it's 8 to 12 touches you need to have, and so it's going to take even longer. I was telling my my business development rep today it's going to be easy because you're calling brokers. You're not calling employers. Captive audience. They're attending webinars. It's inbound. It's a warmer lead. It's a warmer touch. But for you guys, it's going to be cold. You know?
Hey, remember our God rest his soul, Chet Holmes, right? Greatest sales book ever. What did he say? It was like 3 to 6% in any industry are ready to buy now. You're not just going to run into them because you sent them one email.
Yeah, you're looking for people to raise their hand per se, right? Opening the email, clicking the email, right? That's the warmest. So when you go through your list or your outreach system, you send a sequence out of the emails. You know, you're sending out 40 emails a day if you're sending it from your Outlook because you want to be marked as spam. 25, 30, 40 emails per day, and you can see who opens and who clicks the link. And those are the first people you call in the morning. You set up tasks every morning. You come in, you got to make 80 calls, whatever it is, 200 calls, whatever it is, and just hammer away and hammer away. I mean, that's why I think you should have somebody full-time. If you're a serious advisor, either hire a full-time marketing company to do this for you, telemarketing company, and don't hire them for $2,000 a month and do 1,500 calls a month. You're not going to get that far. $24,000 a year you're going to spend on marketing. That means your book is 240,000. Okay, your book's $1 million. You should be spending, $8,000 a month on that. Okay, if you spend $8,000 a month on telemarketing, don't you think you generate business? The math is very simple. So
something.
I don't know. We're just on the show here. We talk about what we're doing mostly for the week, and that's kind of what we're doing here is take it out, write a check. Hey, I just wrote another check today too. Oh, I wrote a check to somebody to train my business development rep that knows the systems, knows the scripts, and knows it way better than me. And so I'm going to pay an expert, a coach to train him, and he's going to coach him over the next 2 months. So it's not even just me hiring somebody and expecting them to do it. Yeah, it would be good if they knew how to do it, but that's not reality. They don't know our industry. They don't know our business. This other gentleman that happens to be somebody we know, I said, well, send me over a consulting agreement. I've never done one before. I was like, well, just send me something over. How much you want? What are you going to do? Boom, done, signed. Let's go.
Yeah, there's so many easy ways to get paid to speak and give objective advice. Yeah, it's wonderful. Heck, I've contracted 2 different people in the last 7 months just to help me wordsmith and brand, because it's not going to come to you, right? I don't have enough time to read all the books. Thank God I don't fly 200,000 miles a year anymore because of COVID. So the result of that is I don't have hours to kill sitting on a plane. So I don't read as many books. And so you know what? You want to shorten the learning curve? I have to pay for mentors to mentor me, just like all of you should be doing, because it will take you a long time to get enough reps to get through the learning curve. And what most of you tend to do is you associate with people. Let's just say that eagles don't flock. Huh? Right. I remember that one. That's a good line. Eagles don't flock. So you need to hang around eagles, not ducks. So if you hang around other peers that have the same size book as you, where do you think the new experience and knowledge is going to come from? Probably not your peers. So think about that before you go to national conferences, because I can tell you for a fact that a lot of the people I work with that control 80% of the market with 2,000 employees and above, they don't go to those conferences. Eventually, somebody out there should be asking themselves, how come I never see people from ABC House here or XYZ House? It's just a lot of other people like me. Well, maybe because the impact that event is going to have isn't going to really increase the velocity of money in your life. And so if you want to increase the velocity of money in your life, find mentors who are eagles, who have already been there and done that, who don't need to go through a learning curve because they've already learned it. Right, John?
Absolutely. So my mother sent me something on Instagram the other day. I forget the woman's name, talking about, when you go up in life and go up in your career, it requires a new person with another level of understanding that the prior person doesn't have, and you have to now say goodbye to those people and remove them from your life. I look at that from a friend standpoint. Had issues last year with some local friends from high school I went back with, and my mom's like, you shouldn't be hanging out with those people anymore. You can't hang out with those people anymore. And so sometimes you have to say goodbye to people. So whether it be broker friends or even an agency you're at, look, had I not met Craig and some other people that helped me in this business, I would have been the same way with my old uh, owner, that when I was doing account
Yeah, you
management.
just keep repeating the same year over
I
and over
thought
again.
he was like the sharpest and the best, and his book was 250,000 at 42 when I met him, and we grew to like 500 in 3.5 years. But I still thought that was like the peak until I went to a poker game and realized there was somebody there with a $1.8 million book. And these are independent agents keeping everything. And then obviously Craig in this sentence. So, you don't know what you don't know, but you have to say goodbye to people, even though you're friends, and start hanging out with a different level of people. If you want to go to the next level, maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to hang out. You want to go to conferences and hang out. That's fine. No judgment, but
Hey,
depends
the
on where you
social
are.
part of it is a lot of fun. I mean, there's no question, right? We're
I'm
part of
the
a
biggest.
mastermind.
I was the biggest social animal
Yeah, I
of the
mean,
group.
it was a lot of fun, but eventually, there has to be some measurable impact.
Looking back on it, the year that I joined the mastermind, nothing against the mastermind, I didn't do as good of numbers that year. I was distracted by shiny objects and pitching shiny objects all year.
Squirrel.
And, you know, I got away from the marketing, focusing on the marketing
The
and was
simple
more
stuff,
product
right?
based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blocking and tackling. It's not that hard, right? Everybody, look, I made all the mistakes. I'm a converted analytical. It's still my natural tendency to be a little bit of a nerd. So what happened? I just thought when I was a young man that if I knew everything, then they'd have to do business with me because there isn't anything that I don't know. And I couldn't have been more wrong. So, I mean, I tell stories from personal experience of having wasted lots and lots of time, having procrastinated, having not done the things that I should have done, only to find out later. And it's really easy to tell yourself stories that, you're working really hard. And I always said this is the easiest business ever to be busy at. But if you're not marketing, you're not talking to new prospects, let me tell you, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. You can be so smart, but if you don't have anybody to tell it to, it's pointless, right? The, it's just not worth it. So you can always find somebody who has the knowledge you need. Remember that. There's industries full of nice people who will probably help you. And so what you need to be is the master at networking and prospecting.
It's not free. It's not free.
Yeah, you have to pay for your education. That's just
Hey,
how
look, we
life
may
is.
well, we got everybody here and you're listening. We're thinking about doing a mastermind come next year in January. Mastermind is not for us to make money on. It's to create relationships, bring some smart people together, charge a fee that covers, I guess, the event stuff. Maybe have a couple sponsors to help with the booze and the food, and but having highly qualified guys in there that are doing well, are going after it, and if you have
Emphasis
interest,
on qualified.
growing business and being qualified. If you're interested, keep an eye out for it, but it'll be
Remember one of the
very.
speakers I brought in last time, right? So they had what, $18 million book of retail business. You might learn something from people like that. So, that's the kind of access we have.
Yeah, it'll be good. I think it'll be. I mean, I know it'll be good. We'll put on something good, but again, it's not something that we're doing to generate revenue from. It'll be something that's more worthwhile for the social element. Because I said it, Greg, I missed the social element, getting together. We've been doing boot camps, but to keep the camaraderie going, you got to kind of have the same guys at the same event, so everybody starts to know each other and become friends with them. Anyhow, side note, but it will also be marketing for us, right? Because now I'm going to create relationships. I'm not going to do it for free. Obviously, I'll get paid on the back end if people do business with us, but the front end is bring people together, have some camaraderie, and yeah, it'll be good stuff. So keep an eye out for that. What else we got tonight, Craig? No comments tonight.
Don't make excuses. Don't make excuses for why you can't do it. Oh, there are people on vacation. School just got out. They're just all stories. They're not true. It's the law of large numbers. There's a ton of prospects out there for most everybody. And so it's a contact sport game. Figure out what strategies and tactics you're going to use to be in front of the most people most of the time. And especially if you don't have to do it, you pay someone to do it who's really good at the things that you don't like to do.
Yeah, look up SDR, sales development rep, business development, BDR. That's what they call it in the tech world. If you want, maybe better hire somebody with some experience that can kind of plug and play. Yes, you're going to pay more for them, but you're not going to have to train them. Okay, it'll be less headaches.
Yeah,
make an investment and stick with it, and I think you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel.
If you want to have success, right? What's that? The old adage that I use. I think I stole it from Jay Abraham or John Asseroff. John Asseroff. Yeah, we all should aspire to do more of what we like, less of what we don't, and none of what we hate. And the fact is that a lot of independent brokers and consultants and advisors don't do it that way. On more than one occasion, John, we've had people tell us, "Oh no, you don't understand." that's almost you can bet that the next sentence is going to be the lie they tell themselves. You don't understand. I have to be available. I have to, so none of those things are true. You should want to do none of what you hate, less of what you don't like doing, and more of what you love.
I like it. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm just having trouble hiring people and finding people.
Everybody is.
If I could find people, I would delegate everything, and I would just, I'd get this thing running like a well-oiled machine.
We have the best benefits, probably, clearly in our region. I mean, we have 100% medical, dental, vision. Are you kidding me? 0 out of pocket, and still having a hard time getting people to show up and earn $25 an hour with those kind of benefits. Like, it's crazy out there.
Account managers, if you're listening, let us know. We're hiring somebody, and we will, if you're good, we will pay for good people. We're looking for new people that we can train, or the best. No in between. No good employees, only great. That being said, we'll end it there.
Yeah.
Heads Up Advisor, another Thursday here. Enjoy your Thursday night. Enjoy your weekend. It's not a holiday weekend yet.
Hope your team drafts somebody good. Be thankful you're not a Lakers fan. They don't. What do they have? I think they made a trade this afternoon to get the 35th pick in the first round. Woohoo!
Wow.
Not much.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Same day, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Later.